Hello everyone, my name's Jean, so good morning everybody. There are so many wonderful stories about Jesus that you might think everybody liked him, but they didn't, you know. Lots of people complained about him, especially the kinds of people who thought that they were more special than other people. When Jesus heard this, he told them another story. But before we start the story, let's open the book. Let's open the book. Let's take a look. Let's listen and see how good God can be. Oh, let's take a look. Let's open the book. Let's listen and see how good God can be. Let's open the book. The story is called The Big Spender. The people who thought they were good were still not happy with Jesus. They moaned, they grumbled, they frowned. It's not fair, they complained. Jesus spends all of his time with the bad people. Jesus heard this and told them one more story. Once upon a time, there was a man who had 2 sons. He loved them both very much. But one day, the younger son came to him with a sad request. "Father," the younger son said, "when you die, I will get part of your money and part of your land. The problem is, I don't really want to wait. I want the money now." It was all the father could do to hold back his tears. But because he loved his son, he agreed and gave him his share of the money. That very day the son left home, money in his pocket and a big smile on his face. He didn't even say goodbye. The father just watched, wiped away a tear, and hoped that one day he would see his son again. The son travelled to a country far, far away and spent his money just as fast as he could. He drank, he gambled, he used his money to do many bad things, until finally the money was gone. The son looked for a job, but the only work he could find was taking care of pigs. It was hard, dirty work, and he was so hungry sometimes that he thought about taking the pigs' food for himself. He was miserable, lonely and sad. And then one day he had an idea. "The servants who take care of my father's animals are much happier than me. I think I'll go home. That's what I'll do. I'll tell my father how sorry I am for wasting his money, and maybe, just maybe, he'll let me become a servant and work for him." Now, what do you think the father had been doing all this time? Did he say to himself, "I have my eldest son at home with me. Who cares if my younger son is gone?" Of course not. He loved his son, even though he had gone far away. And every day he would go out to the roadside and watch, hoping that his son would return. That's exactly where he was when the younger son hobbled home, poor and hungry. The father ran to his son and hugged him tight, and the son dropped right to his knees. "Oh, father," he cried, "I'm so sorry I have wasted all your money, and I'm no longer good enough to be called your son." "Don't be silly," said the father. "You are my son. You will always be my son. And I'm so glad to have you back." Then the father lifted his son to his feet and walked him home. He dressed him in beautiful clothes. He put gold rings on his fingers, and he threw him a big welcome home party. But when the elder son came home from work that night, he heard the party noise. "What's happening?" he asked. And then a servant told him. He was filled with anger and ran to his father. "It's not fair," he shouted. I've been a good son. I've worked hard for you all these years. But he was bad. He wasted your money, and now you're throwing him a big party." "I love you, son," said the father, "and you have enjoyed all the good things that I have. But your brother was gone, and now he's back. He was lost, and now he's found. That's why I'm having this party, because we're all back together again." That's a lovely story, wasn't it? But do you remember why Jesus told this story? It was because Jesus wanted those complaining, jealous people to see that God is just like the Father in the story. He doesn't have favourites. He wants to forgive and help everyone when they make mistakes and do wrong things. Now, while you close your eyes, think about the times when you have made a mistake or chosen to do the wrong thing. Now, I'm going to say a prayer, and if you want to make it your prayer, say Amen at the end after me. Dear God, thank you for being like the forgiving Father in today's story. Thank you that just like that Father, you are always willing to forgive us if we are truly sorry. Amen.